That was I Left You. That's the sound of Julia-Sophie on Foundation FM, and I'm very pleased to welcome Julia-Sophie on the channel. Hey girl, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
How has the heat wave been for you?
Oh, I was terrible. I was literally just moping around. Like I was trying to get myself together, but I spent a lot of the day just going, oh, I can't move.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't super productive. I was just like, I was out of it most of the time. But.
Yeah. And we started talking, so I mean, just to fill people in on the backstory of us knowing each other, but you dropped me a message with your new music at the beginning of lockdown. I can remember it now. I think it's been like a few weeks of just in the house on my own, because I ended up doing lockdown solo because of just housemates had to move out and things. And you sent me the EP and we got chatting. Does that feel like a lifetime ago now?
Yeah, it was really weird because I guess I just started to do some solo shows, which have been going really well, and then I kind of like everybody had to rethink everything, and so I kind of found myself a bit on Instagram kind of going, and also I was doing everything by myself, so I was like, I don't know how to promote this, I don't know how to do this, and I came across you actually through I used to be quite a big fan of Femme, Laura,
Yeah.
and I think you played her on your show, and I was like, I'm gonna follow this little lead, and then I was like, I found you, and I thought I was quite I thought you looked cool, and I also thought that like I really liked your motorbike, and I was kind of like, I wish I had a motorbike, and so I was kind of like, yeah, I was there. I didn't know who you were or fully, but I was like, can I send you my music, please? Can you take it, have a listen. So I was really flattered that you even took the time to listen, and then to respond was like, that's a big thing when you don't have anything, like no contacts or no outlet. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure. I mean, just on first listen, I loved it all. So I'm so glad to be able to help you. And this is off the back of, so you've been in bands before. Am I right that you went on tour with Courtney Love and Blondie?
Yeah.
That is amazing. You must have so many good stories.
Yeah, I do. So
Anything that you can share?
Well, I didn't do we did a month, I think, with Blondie on tour, and I did like a few dates with Courtney Love. So I think I played several times. I played like Terminal 5 with her in New York a couple of nights, and I think it was Brixton Academy, and Shepherd's Bush Empire. I did quite a lot of things in my rock band. It was a really weird time because I guess I'm a bit older, and it was like pre-Instagram and pre all that, so I was really at the kind of mercy of the label, and so it was much harder to communicate. So yeah, we did all these great things, but I actually, had it been now, like fans would have been able to find us on Instagram and follow, but back then we didn't have that, so it was kind of word of mouth and relying on kind of bigger music publications, which our band never quite made it, and when we did, we got like such bad reviews that it kind of killed everything I'd worked for. I kind of came from like signing on, building a band, doing demos, all that thing, like really old school, and then getting signed and then I kind of, it's a long story, but basically, I kind of lived that dream for a little bit, for about a year and a half, kind of toured the world, and I really enjoyed being a rock artist, but I don't think it was me. Like I kind of fell into it. I played guitar, and I kind of got you fall, I could do the big voice and I could do the big rock thing, and it was fun, but ultimately it came crashing down, and I burnt out really, and I stopped music for quite a few years.
Yeah. And then this project was, and then this project was you sort of finding your way back in a way, and doing something that is so true to you. This feels like this is absolutely you distilled into like the YEP, into sort of an introductory body of work.
Yeah, totally. I think, you know, like I said, I had some amazing times, and actually, of all the people that I met, because we did some shows with like Placebo and Alice in Chains, like a quite a crazy time.
Yeah.
But you know, Debbie Harry was just the nicest person, like the nicest icon like ever. She literally, we were supporting Courtney Love at the time, 10-5. She tapped me on the shoulder and she was like, I love you, I think you're great, would you come on tour with us, kind of thing. And I was like, okay. So that was all great, and it came with its kind of you know, it came with the inner workings of the machine that kind of chewed me up, and I was pretty broken. And I had my first child then, and so I was kind of like, I don't want to, I didn't want to be like playing in pubs with a little baby. I just felt like I can't do that. I wasn't ready. So I tried to kind of be really sensible and kind of do other jobs, but kind of, it just eats at you, you know. The world is changing, my personal life has changed, like everything has kind of come crashing down, and I was like, I need to, I've always written songs, and I was like, I need to get to the bottom of how I'm feeling and what I'm writing. And I guess with Julia-Sophie, that was like, that's my birth name, that's me. I didn't want to hide behind anything anymore. I didn't, in a band you have to be kind of democratic to an extent, you know. You perform the songs, you're writing them, but you know, as soon as somebody else puts the drums and things, it's their, they own it, you know, it's their thing. And I was like, I wanted to get to the core of how I was feeling. I didn't want to write songs that just sounded good or rocky or use words that were cool, or I was like, I'm just going to question everything I write, and question everything I feel, and try and get to the nugget of where I'm at, really, which is what I tried to do. So I did go into the studio, and I had written these songs, and I took a while, and I just basically tried to make it as personal as true and as honest as I could. And also, I guess at the time, I never thought I was going to really release it. Like, I just literally just did it as an art project for me. I was like, I don't care whether it's what structure it's got, how, you know, whether it sounds like a single, or whether it, you know, I'd been so broken by kind of my past and the music industry that I was kind of like, I'm just going to really just do it for me. And the irony is that it's kind of the music that's most resonated with people that I've ever done, you know. Like, I mean, it's not huge by a long shot, but it's achieved so much more than I ever would have dreamt. Like, you know, I just did it because I needed to.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, oh God, I'm going to go in there and become like the biggest artist in the world, and this single is going to get me this. You know, it was never like that. It was like, I just want to record something that means something to me. And
yeah. And sometimes the truest and the best music does come from something where you just have to get it out. It's like the creation of it, you know. It's like it has to exist and be something. And when there's external pressure of like the big label machine and all of that, you know, in a way that you were kind of freed from those shackles, sort of coming back to after a bit of a break, and then just making something that you needed to do for you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's not really a huge protection of care in the music industry around artists, you know, when they do have that kind of, you're thrown in and you get exposed to a lot very quickly, and then you're kind of doing all these things, and then when it does kind of come crashing down, do you think there was the support there, or not really at all?
I just think I was really unlucky. Like, at the time, I kind of was in the, you know, I think I was just like, for as much luck as I had, like I worked really hard for it, you know, but I also was unlucky. I don't think ultimately I had the right people around me. So I wasn't supported emotionally at all, ever. I wasn't, you know, there wasn't anybody I could talk to, and I had a massive facade basically of being this like rock chick, but actually I was kind of crumbling and in desperate need of a hug, you know. I don't know, like I guess if you I don't know about the music industry. I think you know, you need a good team. If you're lucky, I wouldn't like to kind of generalize. I think in my situation I was like unlucky. If I had maybe a management who knew how to look after me, you know, and could have protected me or kind of guided me, you know, because people do bounce back from terrible times, you know. I just kind of like I lost my way really. I don't think I don't know if that's the industry's fault, or I think it's just like it was my circumstance. I don't know. I think, you know, because some artists, you know, they stay with their management forever. They have great bonds. It works, you know. Some people are very happy with their label. You know, I think sometimes it clicks. You know, I wouldn't like to generalize the music industry as a whole. I think if you find the right people within it, I think it can work really well, you know.
Yeah.
Just think I was a bit unlucky in that. But
yeah, sometimes timing and things, just like little things that you wouldn't expect to have an impact on, I don't know, just I think a trajectory. It's quite mystifying industry sometimes, why some things will fly and other things don't. But at the same time, it comes down to the music. And I think this EP, when I first heard, so I think you sent me one of the first tracks was Breathe. And it kind of came, you know, in lockdown situation with COVID-19 where, you know, I think a lot of us were kind of struggling to breathe. And the song is just saying like, just sit down and breathe and kind of,
right.
Yeah. It felt quite timely. It felt quite comforting, I think, hearing it. I guess you never ever imagined that you'd be putting out an EP in a global pandemic. But when did you write Breathe, and what was the inspiration for it?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I didn't write it during the pandemic, that's for sure. I guess like I wrote I wrote the songs, yeah, I guess last year. I think so it's kind of like it's quite personal stuff, but kind of on a general level, like, because I still totally can't talk about love, but like it's kind of like when your life is falling apart and the right person puts your arms around you and says breathe, you know, you can kind of find that, okay, when everything's falling, it's kind of all about you know, finding, I guess, you know, like remembering to breathe when everything's falling apart, but also just kind of I guess with certain people they're going to make you feel really safe and at home, and when that happens, that's really you know, really a big thing. I guess it's about that. What was the other question?
I mean, the global pandemic. What a wild time to be alive. What a wild time to be releasing music.
No, it's so weird not being able to do live shows, because it's such a big part of kind of music. You know, meeting people, traveling, getting your music out, performing it. It's quite hard. I struggle to get my head around the kind of whole internet, like everything's happening on your phone, you know, because it's not real, and I can't touch it, and I find it really hard to I mean, I can communicate, but I would much rather communicate by kind of touring and kind of seeing and being in a room with people and feeling that connection. So I have struggled with not being able to do that. It's kind of, it did knock me off my feet. Not in a good way, like didn't sweep me off my feet. It totally kind of took me like pull the rug, that's it, pull the rug under my under my stride. But having said that, you know, there's the other side of the coin is that, like, you know, I sent you a song. If you'd been running around, you might never have sat down and gone, I've got time to listen to this, I've got time to read this message. So I think it might have worked both ways, you know. Like, people have slowed down and taken more time to listen to stuff. And I think, you know, at the time, a lot of bigger artists pulled their albums. They kind of didn't release them. So it kind of gave artists like me a kind of little in to be like, hey, I'm releasing something, people looking for music, you know. Maybe you know, everything, I like to think everything, in retrospect, in hindsight, everything always kind of, you can explain, everything works out, or everything kind of thing. So maybe, who knows, maybe if it hadn't been for the pandemic, you would never have bothered to read my message, and, you know, things wouldn't have moved forward the way they did. So I'm going to go with thanks COVID at this point.
Yeah. I will say I'm, you know, the consummate professional, and I tried to go through my messages. I think I probably would have seen it. Whether I would have had so much time to sit down and, like, you know, because I just sent you a stream of people to contact, didn't I? And maybe I wouldn't have had quite as much time to do that, but I definitely would have. I definitely feel like I would have listened to it.
Okay.
And supported it. But you're right, like it was a moment where everything was just slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
And
a lot.
Good time for new music. I definitely feel like music's got me through this last few months, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of electronic influences in this EP. And I was reading that Caribou was a big inspiration for that.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of, yeah, I guess, like, I was definitely listening to not Caribou's most recent album. I can't remember the name of it. The big one.
Huh? Yeah, the one with "Can't Do Without You" on it. What is that called?
Yeah, that. I love that.
Our Love.
Our Love. See, I don't even know whether I even noticed what the album was called. I think I just kept listening to it. I might not have even ever known it was called that. But Our Love. Yeah. I mean,
it's got Silver on it, which is just killer track. Silver, beautiful. Yeah. It's like the master of that kind of melancholy electronic sound I love.
So sometimes, I was kind of writing stuff thinking it would sound like that, and then when I went to record and do my thing, it just came out totally differently. but yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
I guess Caribou, because I didn't listen to a lot of electronic music. I guess he's probably one of the first people that kind of got me into that world and listening to, because his music it's still very emotive, even though it's, you know, he's very fragile in his voice, and lyrics is very soft, but it's so beautifully crafted. You know, it's not kind of big dance tunes, or, you know, so I guess I could definitely relate to that. I'm kind of mildly obsessed with Kelly Lee Owens now. Who isn't?
She's magical. I had such a magical chat with her not too long ago about this new album. And I've got, actually, in the show tonight, I'm playing the new track On, which is gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
I don't really know much about her. I know she did some stuff with John Hopkins, who again is like a legend. Yeah.
And you sing in French a bit as well, because you're French English, right?
Yeah. I'm French. My mom's French, so again, I guess I'm always a bit reluctant to put too much French on, because I don't want to sound like, I don't know, because I guess people might not understand the lyrics, and also I guess I'm just not as good at writing in French as maybe I am in English. But I thought it would be nice, again, like just trying to get into who I am, and this is me, and I'm a bit French, and so I'm going to sing a little bit in French. So.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I like listening to the full French version of the last Christine and the Queen's album.
Wow.
I have no idea what she's saying, but it's delightful. It's so nice to hear her sing in French. And I have the same thing with Charlotte Gainsbourg, and with when you sing in French. It's lovely.
I guess it might sound a bit exotic. So.
Yeah, Sounds very beautiful.
I wonder if Jenny Beth will ever sing in French.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I wonder. So, where do you make all the music? Is it the studio that's behind you? Do you do it all from kind of a home setup?
Yeah, it is a home setup, but it's not here. I kind of write the songs here, and then which is in Oxford, and I kind of did a few music jobs with this guy who like did a lot of, in fact, writing some French kind of Killing Eve-esque songs for library, blah blah. And I met this guy called Bruce through it, and he has a studio in Brighton, which is incredible. And he used to, so we met kind of doing these dance and French kind of, as I said, like Killing Eve style, Charlotte Gainsbourg kind songs, yeah, and then we just really got on. And then he was like, oh, I was like, oh, let's do you want to write a dance track? Let's just do a dance track for fun. And so I kind of booked a couple of days with him just to go down to his studio in Brighton. And then I'd written I Left You, and I was like, oh, it's not really a dance song, but can we just, how about we try this song? And so we did it, and we just both loved it, and we're like, oh, this is something, let's do some more. And then so I kind of went down to Brighton with him, and I recorded everything with him. He's got this like kind of shed full of analog synths and old drum machines, and he's just incredible. And he used to do a lot of dance music. Like he worked with Faithless back in the day and Dido and stuff like that. And he doesn't do it anymore. And I think again, like he was just a bit like, oh God, it's so nice to do something real, so nice to make some art again. Like he hadn't done it for a long time, and for we just kind of vibed. Like he'd had similar experiences in the industry where it was just like, oh my God, remember that time when you'd play something to this A&R guy who was totally off his head, and he'd start doing some sort of jelly dance in the background and everybody be looking at him weirdly. Yeah, I remember that. So, we got on really well. We had similar kind of highs and similar lows. And so, and then I just kept bringing songs to him, and we carved them out little by little. I guess also it was really important for me to get out of Oxford. I kind of really wanted to be where nobody knew me, where I had no past. I guess in Oxford people have known me for being in bands or, Little Fish and stuff. And I just kind of didn't want to come with any baggage or any preconceptions of anything. So it was really nice to work with someone, A, who didn't know me, and B, who I just got on really well with. And like I said, we just recorded because we loved it. And then I decided to take things further and was like, okay, we're going to make this an EP. Let's make some videos. I did take it to that next level without fully thinking it through. Like, oh God, I'm back in it now. But like this time it feels better. I'm in control. It's me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm getting into. And
it must feel really good because the music's so good. The EP is so good. You must have had such a good reaction.
I guess, it was on the front page of Bandcamp, which is amazing. Like they don't even like put EPs on the front page. They only do albums usually. So that was, it was amazing. And it's been played a few times here and there on Radio 6, which is like my dream. That would be my dream home, basically. It kind of, I'm really excited to, I'm working on my new EP, and I want it to be really good, and I'm crossing fingers that I can make it good and keep going forward, because I love music. That's the thing. I tried to stop. I just can't get that fire out my belly, and I just get so depressed if I'm not writing. So I'm really keen to like kind of get out there and make some and maybe make an album one day.
Yeah. But you said to Bruce, like, I'm coming back. I've got 3-4 more tracks for an EP. Then we're doing the album.
Oh, I have already. I've been like, Bruce, like, there's like 40 songs in the Dropbox now. Can we like please finish some? Yeah, no, we're working on it. We are working on it. It's a process, and it, you know.
Yeah.
I guess that was the thing as well. Like we did spend a while on it, going back and forth, and so it was a little bit of space, gives it a bit of hindsight, gives it a bit of perspective, you know. But in all honesty, Georgie, like, you just don't know how people are going to react. We record it, and then you just don't, and then the time comes when you've got to play it to people, and you're like, wow, it was great when I was the only one listening to it in my car, because I didn't have to justify it to anybody or be judged, you know. But now it's like, oh yeah, I forgot what it's like when you release music. People say yay or nay, and you have to deal with it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone down. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always like hate myself and hate everything I do. So I'm always gonna think I can do it better and never feel fully satisfied. So, you know.
The harshest critic.
Yeah, you know, it's nice. Maybe Bruce has been helpful as well. Just being like, let it go, George.
Yeah. Just try not to. Yeah. Just embrace it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should also talk about Siobhan Cox, who all your visuals, and they're so gorgeous, like the videos and the pictures, a lot of it on kind of on film, and a lot of it was a lot of that shot in Brighton as well.
Yeah, so again, you know, we tried to like kind of stay true to where I'd recorded the music, and so you know, she would come down and we'd do some like dress up and go and walk down by the pier or in the arcade, or she came to the studio, we did some studio shots. So it was basically you know, like all her idea really. I was so lucky to meet her, and I'd worked with her before on a couple of other videos, another band I was in, and then she was just like, you should make everything work visually. So you've got this EP, like, she was like, make the pictures work, you know, make everything work so that there's a story. I think her idea would be that the videos link up. So I'm wearing the same clothes in all the videos, and ideally, I guess if we'd done it, like, had, you know, budgets and things, we could have maybe had a bit more, but like that the stories would link up between the video, and if you put them together, it would kind of make one big video. But it was like really important that it all went together, like visually. She has an incredible sense, you know, she feels things, she's really into music. So I am terrible at visuals, I won't lie, like, I'm terrible, but she was just like, she really liked the music, she really understood it, and she really put her heart and soul into kind of making me a visual art, turning me into something that could be Instagrammed and video, you know, like as an artist in that way. But I guess I owe her that really. And also it was great because we recorded everything on analog synth, so, and all her processing, like, she's so, like, she shoots everything on real film. Like, I get comments sometimes that they're like, I love the filter you're using, and I'm like, it's not a filter, it's an actual film from a camera. And she develops everything herself, like in her bath with all her chemicals. And I don't know if you've seen XOX, but there's like this kind of animation thing with like she took loads of photos and it kind of moves. I mean, she scanned all the photos herself, like night after night, hours after hours. And also this thing these days, you know, you can definitely be, you know, an artist with great music, but like you need the visuals. And yeah, she made that possible. She's my team, basically, her and Bruce.
Yeah. It's a dream team. It's a dream team. Yeah, I bet people will probably get in touch and say, what filter is that? Can I buy that filter? Yeah. No. It's like hours of painstaking analog photography and work, you know, art basically.
Yeah.
I mean, what is next? So a new EP, have you written all of it, or are you just
Yeah.
in
Oh
touch with?
yeah, I've kind of like, I'm battling with 2 tracks. 2 tracks are finished. 2 tracks I'm battling with. We're battling with. We'll get there. And I've got another idea. Yeah, so I mean it's close to being finished, but that doesn't mean it's going to be released very soon because I need to like sort my visuals out and make some videos. I really wanted to release something like in September, but I think it's going to be a bit longer than that. And also, again, when you release stuff, as you know, like I'd have to send it like 6 to 8 weeks before. So on top of that, you need to. So yeah, it's going to take a bit of a while. Maybe I'll get a label. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But yeah, the music's there, and I've written a good album's worth after that too. I've been writing, you know, quite steadily since the EP came out. So I'm like way ahead on the writing. I'm just like behind on the rest. But
Well, I do have faith, like after next year, I think things will slowly, you know, I think live gigs hopefully will come back, and
yeah,
hopefully, you know, we can get excited about next year. I hope, you know,
I hope.
yeah, getting back out there and being able to play live and yeah, just do what you would have been doing, you know.
Yeah. I hope that people will be okay about standing in a room like close to each other, you know.
No.
It's, you know. We'll see, hey?
We're going to finish with the remix of XOX, because I play, you know, in this show, I tend to get in a mix and play quite a lot of electronic stuff, and this remix is brilliant. It's got kind of a DFA, James Murphy LCD sound system vibe to it, I think. Are you going to do more remixes? This was you remixing the track.
Well, it was Bruce
Okay.
who I worked with did it. We did it, you know, kind of ping back and forth how we do on stuff. But yeah, he's well into remixes. But and you know, we should do some more together. Again, it's just the time. There's a priority. I guess the priority is just getting the EP finished, and then yeah, I don't really know much about remix world. Like this was a remix, but I've never, that's my first kind of like world of remixes. I don't really know where they live and where they go, or like, I don't understand that world. So I'm just kind of gonna, yeah, we'll do some more. And then like, hopefully I'll send them to you and then you can like.
I loved it. You were like, oh yeah, I kind of got a remix. Like, here's a remix, and I played it, and it's just like this. If I was DJing, this would be great. It's dance floor ready.
Oh,
Yeah, the occasional banger.
that's thanks. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed it as well. Just I thought I'm going to learn to play. I'm probably going to learn to play that live as well, so that when I perform, people can have a groove. You know.
Yeah.
Fun.
Amazing. Well, it's so good to talk to you, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for all your support, Georgie. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. I'm just excited that more people are going to discover you, not through me, but through other channels as well, you know.
Well, fingers crossed. I'll keep releasing, and little by little, hopefully.
Yeah.